This is the Palin Update on Mama Grizzly Radio. I'm Kevin Scholla in the Narrowgate Security Agency studios.
So be like Trump and stand tall and proud and productive. Be like Trump and don't back down. Be that happy warrior.
The Trump train is rolling from coast to coast. Sarah Palin and family make a campaign stop for Donald Trump in San Diego. Meantime, students in New Jersey are working for a big Trump victory. Today, we'll talk to Sarah Hagmayer, national spokesperson for Students for Trump and the head of the New Jersey chapter. Sarah Palin reminds us what Memorial Day is really all about. The governor swats the perky one. A brand new installment of Liberty and Legacy with Tamara Colbert is on the way from Texas, and Sarah Steelman is back with the latest edition of Steel Resolve in Missouri. Welcome to the Palin Update on Mama Grizzly Radio. The Palin Update is sponsored by Narrowgate Security Agency. Learn more at narrowgate.com. With the Garden State set to vote on Tuesday, we're happy to have the chair of Students for Trump in New Jersey on the show. Sarah Hagmeyer is also the national spokesperson for Students for Trump, a woman and a student passionate for Trump, debunking yet another false narrative about the Trump campaign. And right now, Sarah Hagmeyer joins us on the Palin Update on Mama Grizzly Radio. Sarah, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
Very well. Thanks for being with us. And exciting times right now with Donald Trump, the presumptive nominee for the Republican nomination here, going for the presidency. And Trump, a lot of people didn't give him a chance in the beginning. And here, 17 some odd candidates later, he's the only one standing on the GOP side. That's got to make you excited.
That's right.
Now, you work for the Students for Trump group. You're the New Jersey director. Tell us a little bit about Students for Trump, how you got into it, and what you do.
Well, Students for Trump is an organization that gets students on college campuses to start becoming politically active and getting involved in the campaign.
And how did you find out about it, and how did you get to basically be the leader in New Jersey?
Well, I found out about Students for Trump on Twitter because it was first a Twitter movement, and then they started a grassroots movement instead. But I got involved by reaching out on Twitter asking if they had any organizations in New Jersey, and they didn't, so I took up the opportunity to lead one myself.
Now, why Trump? Why is it that Trump speaks to you? A lot of people say Trump has no support from young people and Trump has no support from women. Well, you blasted that out of the water 2 for 2, so tell us why Trump's your guy.
Well, Trump is my guy because, and many other students' guys, because he really speaks to the American people. He wants America to come first. And, he's a businessman, so he's really going to get things done once he gets in the White House, right?
And not only are you a woman and a student, but you're also in very blue New Jersey. So do you really feel, and you've probably heard about this more from your parents or looking it up yourself, but it's been a long time since New Jersey's gone Republican for a president. Do you feel New Jersey's in play in November because of Trump, and if so, why?
Oh, absolutely. I fully believe New Jersey's going to probably be read this election because what Trump's doing is he's really, uniting everyone, Republicans and Democrats. He's bringing a lot of new people to the party. So in New Jersey, a lot of people are doing the same. We're seeing a lot of battleground Democratic voters, they're voting for Trump this election because he's going to get the job done and he's going to put, our country first. He's going to make America great again. So, but first we have to make New Jersey red.
You have a lot of people that don't like Donald Trump in college campuses across the country, and that's putting it mildly. And we've seen protests and students, quote-unquote threatened by chalkings. We had Nicole Bean from the DePaul college Republicans in Chicago, where liberals were complaining that they felt threatened by seeing "Make America Great Again" chalked on the asphalt. Now, so we are led to believe, if you listen to the lamestream media, that colleges and those in college hate Donald Trump. what do you hear from fellow classmates? I mean, obviously not everybody's for Trump, but your group is huge. You have people, members all over the country. You have leaders that are in your position all over the country. There are a lot of college people for Donald Trump.
Absolutely. It's very frustrating being a Trump supporter on a liberal college campus because these liberal students just want to, suppress our opinions because we call them the intolerant left. It's like when we were doing the chalking. It was, just Trump 2016, and they were all up in the, they were so upset. But we're seeing a lot of Trump supporters on colleges come out. It's kind of hard because it takes one big supporter, and then others will follow suit. So we're trying to get them to be a little bit louder than the liberals, but we have them. They're out there.
What I find to be a positive for Donald Trump is where he is pulling in people from all over. You said the Republican Party has expanded.
Yeah.
He's getting support from Democrats. He's getting support from independents. He's getting support from people who haven't voted ever or in a long time. And then you see the spectrum of Republicans who are supporting him. You have your Governor, Chris Christie. Then you have, of course, Governor Sarah Palin, who's, doesn't get more conservative than Governor Palin. So I think that shows, whereas on the liberal side, if you are not, big time, pro-abortion, pro-Islam, anti-American exceptionalism, you are out of that party. And it's showing that Donald Trump is making a move here with a lot of different types of people.
Yes, we're calling that the Unite for the Fight. We're bringing, students, people of all different views. We're all just kind of coming together because we want to make America great again, and we're going to put America first. But first, to do that, we all have to come together and support Donald Trump. And he's doing that. He's bringing everyone of all different, races, backgrounds, voters. So it's a big movement. It's going to change in politics.
Now, what do Students for Trump do specifically? I know you have a big social media presence. What are you doing online and otherwise, and how can people join you?
Well, what we're doing online is we have Students for Trump, our Instagram account, our Twitter account, and we're just, getting the message out there for students to become involved. We have a website, studentsfortrump.com, and with the website, that's how people can get involved. You can reach out over social media like I did, but students, they can reach out to Students for Trump, and then, we can find a state chapter or something for them to get into. But that's what we're doing.
Now, were you interested in politics before, a little bit, a lot, in the middle, and did Donald Trump get you into it, or did he at least make you more excited and more energized?
Yeah, well, I've always been politically just passionate. I think, when Obama first got into office in 2008, I remember watching that in Disney World as a kid, and then when he won against Romney. And just being knowing what's happening, but not being able to actually, participate in the voting. This election, we're students all over. They just don't want to vote. They want to become part of the movement. They want to help get the message out there. So I've always been politically passionate, but this election, really getting involved.
And unfortunately, when you were in Disneyland or Disney World watching Obama get elected, and it wasn't Fantasyland. He really was.
Oh no, it was not the happiest day. The happiest place on earth the next day whatsoever.
There you go, right. And it's been more of a circus ever since. And, we laugh because otherwise we'd cry. But, I think I really believe that that's another thing about Donald Trump. I mean, a president is supposed to be the greatest cheerleader of the greatest country. And, that's what Ronald Reagan did. And here, Donald Trump, I've heard this from people, who can't even vote yet, all the way to my grandmother who's 90, to everybody in the middle. And they all say the same thing. They say, it makes me feel optimistic. I'm excited when he's on. I love hearing him talk. And, after going through Romney and McCain and all these others that you had to kind of hold your nose and hope for the best, here's a guy that instead of, voting against Obama or against Hillary or against Bernie, you're actually voting for Mr. Trump.
Exactly. Well, Mr. Trump, I think after having almost 8 years with President Obama, we really lost a lot of American spirit. And I think that's why, Donald Trump is connecting to so many different Americans because, we're starting to, come together and put our country first again. And I've been feeling extremely, patriotic and optimistic since I started supporting him. There was 17 candidates, and they were all relatively the same, like kind of part of the establishment. But he's just something completely different, and it's resonating with the voters.
And, of course, we have to ask you from one Sarah to another, what do you think about Governor Palin endorsing Donald Trump? It's, he mentions her all the time, which is just great.
I love Governor Palin. I've always been a fan of her. I think she's just, she's so enthusiastic and passionate, and that's something that I've always admired about her, and I know numerous other people admire about her. She's like America's cheerleader. She's getting everyone, riled up and together especially for support for Donald Trump. When she started, at events with him, opening up for him, it gets everyone excited.
She's Sarah Hagmeyer. She is from Students for Trump, the New Jersey chapter, and it's a huge organization. Check them out. And obviously, we need young people to win this election, and Donald Trump has a lot of them behind him. We're going to get a lot more behind him as we roll toward November. Sarah, thank you so much.
No, thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
For more on Students for Trump, visit studentsfortrump.com. That's students, the number 4, Trump.com. Sarah Palin and members of her family stumped for Trump in San Diego this past week. Palin posted a great picture of Mr. Trump and the Palins on Facebook, and the governor wrote, "So great to join our next president, Donald J. Trump, today in San Diego. Todd, Piper, Trigg, and I are in awe of the amazing honorable vets here supporting Trump. We owe our freedom to those who wear the uniform today and those who have served something greater than self, America's veterans. Remember those who paid the ultimate sacrifice for all of us this Memorial Day weekend. God bless the USA." Great stuff, and great to see Todd Palin out and about and traveling. Also this past week, Sarah Palin called out the phony Katie Couric after Couric once again deceivingly edited tape to make a story fit her agenda. This time, gun grabbing was her goal. Palin wrote, "Nah, Katie Couric would never edit an interview to make a conservative look bad. What a piece of work the perky one is." Palin included a link to a story on Couric's latest shenanigans. You can access that link on the Mama Grizzly Radio Facebook page. And a sobering reminder of what Memorial Day really means, Palin posted a powerful picture this past week of a woman lying in a graveyard with her little baby and a flag and a blanket with a picture of her and her fallen husband on it. The woman and child are at the grave of a hero, her husband, the baby's dad. The caption on the picture, "Just in case you thought Memorial Day was another excuse to get drunk or cook out." Powerful. While Obama continues his apology tour to Vietnam and the rest of the world, Sarah Palin knows our real heroes are American service members who gave it all for our freedom. To see any of the governor's posts in their entirety, visit Sarah Palin's Facebook page, follow her on Twitter at Sarah Palin USA, and check out sarahpac.com.
Now, the Palin Update with Kevin Scholla presents Liberty and Legacy. Here's Tamara Colbert.
Memorial Day is a solemn opportunity for us to reflect on the blood shed at the Tree of Liberty. Those who gave everything in service to our nation. The outside world has written America off. Heck, 40% of Americans have written America off. But this is when America does her best work. Think about those men who didn't make it off the beaches of Normandy. But we still managed to succeed at the most insurmountable amphibious assault in the history of warfare. We stormed those beaches, Utah, Omaha, Gold, Juneau, and Sword, to take out the Germans. World War II was an epic battle between the Allied and the Axis powers. And if anybody's forgotten, the Axis was Germany, Italy, and Japan. Operation Overlord was one of the most brilliant and largest military invasions in history, with 160,000 troops landing within 24 hours on those 5 beaches. If the greatest generation can do that, we certainly, you and I, can do what it takes now to honor those brave who have sacrificed, risked all, and gave the Axis hell for one thing, and that was freedom. What about those in the Revolutionary War and the Civil War? Those people fought and died for freedom, for liberty, so they would never be enslaved again. The only thing we asked France at the end of World War II, after liberating them, was a patch of land to bury our dead. This week, our apologist-in-chief Obama laid a wreath at the Hiroshima Memorial in Japan, and my blood was boiling over it because we didn't want to be thrust into World War II, but thanks to the Japanese sneak attack on Pearl Harbor, we were in it. And most importantly, we were in it to win it once it happened, to avenge the blood of those slain at Pearl Harbor. And thank you, Lord, that throughout America's history, you have raised up men and women with a warrior spirit and a heart for the righteous cause of liberty. Galatians 5 liberty that you've written in our DNA. And my grandfather, Private Robert F. Murphy, was one of those with a warrior spirit. He lied and joined the Marine Corps at 17 years old and ended up on a small island in the Pacific called Wake Island. Wake was hit by the Japanese 2 weeks after Pearl Harbor for its strategic location in the Pacific. My grandfather was taken prisoner of war on December 23rd, 1941, and spent the remainder of World War II in captivity by the Japanese as a prisoner of war. And it wasn't easy, folks. So let's be clear. Despite what President Obama wants you to believe, I want to share a reason why we dropped that bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki to stop the war. Because the Japanese didn't take POWs to send them away to a resort. They wanted to torture them, destroy what they thought of America. And my grandfather suffered PTSD his entire life after he was liberated. He spent time in those Japanese prison camps, both on mainland Japan and on China. During that time, he lost the feeling in all 10 of his fingers and toes because of the bamboo shoot torture and other physical abuse he had to endure. He had partial feeling from his elbows to his fingers due to that torture, and then much more physical abuse that he refused to even tell any of us. None of us knew the real physical abuse at the hands of his Japanese captors he had to endure, but some of it was intestinal. Because the Japanese put little rocks into the rice. And it wreaked havoc on our soldiers on those POWs' intestinal tract. My grandfather's shoulders and back was destroyed. Mostly because his hands had been tied behind his back and then his body strung up a tree where he would hang until his shoulder blades popped out of joint. He watched his best friends tortured and murdered. Many times in a 2x3 bamboo box strung up from a tree with stinging, biting bugs and ants the whole time biting him. Our apologist-in-chief can't help himself, and he thinks he gets the privilege of apologizing around the world at all these stops for America's greatness and dominance and values above all liberty. Obama's profound and obvious dislike for America is why an unapologetic go-getter like Donald Trump is resonating with such a wide variety of voters. The contrast couldn't be more dramatic. Trump, a man proud of his accomplishments, talking about it, champion of the free market, champion of his own personal achievements, including the fact he has created massive wealth and prosperity for himself and his family. He employs tens of thousands of people all over the world. Whereas Obama pretends he's not successful. He hides it, hides his success as though he's ashamed of it. He could have been such a huge champion for Americans, especially minorities. He could have talked about him being living proof that the American dream is alive and well. But no, he has to be a little weasel out there skunking around, apologizing every country except our own. Trump talking about eliminating burdensome regulations and unleashing the American entrepreneur to create more unimaginative wealth and jobs. This week, Trump said in his first 100 days, he is pledging to create energy independence for the United States of America by increasing offshore drilling, resuming building of the Keystone XL pipeline, trying to save the coal industry, and of course, what I love and got great satisfaction from is that he is going to cancel the Paris Climate Agreement and all the other bogus UN schemes that Obama has tried to shove down our throats. Just to say out loud what a majority of common sense Americans have been thinking for more than a decade makes me smile. Smile at the thought of unleashing Americans, on the thought of possibility of what we can do for getting Americans back to work, energizing the American spirit, and of course, making liberals head spin, which I find great satisfaction with. Victory is good. Winning is good. We propelled Allied victory in World War II, and we can certainly do it again for our own country. I am ready to get to work. Are you? You can tweet me this week at Tamara Colbert, hashtag Mama Grizzly Radio. Have a blessed week. Thank you to our service members, our son Aaron serving proudly in the U.S. Air Force overseas. We love you, son. We are proud of you. We are proud of your achievements. Thank you to my husband, former U.S. Army, my dad in the Navy, my father-in-law in the Marines. I love you, I salute you, and I salute all of you listening who have served graciously and with great sacrifice to you and your family. I love you, I cherish you. You are special. You have a warrior spirit like my grandfather. And all my family members who have served honorably over the last 400 years of America. Thank you. Thank a soldier this week. May God bless you. May God bless the United States of America. I'm Tamara Colbert for Mama Grizzly Radio.
Tamara Colbert in Texas. Tune in for more Liberty and Legacy next week. And to learn about Convention of States, head to conventionofstates.com. Now our weekly commentary, Steel Resolve. Here's Sarah Steelman.
Thanks, Kevin. Tragic and baffling are the two words that I think of when I heard what Robert McDonald, the head of the VA, said this week. The comparison of standing in line at Disney World as being the same thing as waiting for VA care is absurd. Disney World is an entertainment choice. Visitors to Disney World know that the lines are going to be long when they make the choice to visit. And you know what? They can also buy tickets that let you bypass the long wait. Veterans who are sick and need care are not making a choice. They have to seek medical care. They have no choice in the matter. His remark is callous and so stupid that it is absolutely baffling to me. And this is what people are so sick of hearing from Washington bureaucrats. These bureaucrats have no understanding, no empathy for what real people with real problems experience. And then, rather than just standing up and saying, you know, I was wrong. That was a really stupid thing to say. I apologize, and I do know that waiting for medical care is a major part of the problem, and I resolve to fix it or the president can fire me. Wow, that would be something. That's honest. That's humble, and that's taking responsibility. This is Sarah Steelman for Mama Grizzly Radio.
Tune in again next week for another segment of Steel Resolve right here on the Palin Update. The Palin Update, including Liberty and Legacy and Steel Resolve, is on demand and available for download. So just head to mamagrizzlyradio.com, pick the show you want to hear, and you can listen anywhere, anytime. Well, that'll just about do it for this edition of the Palin Update on Mama Grizzly Radio. Visit mamagrizzlyradio.com for continuing coverage of Governor Palin. Also, like Mama Grizzly Radio on Facebook and follow along on Twitter at Mama Grizz Radio, at Kevin Scholla, at Tamara Colbert, and at Sarah_Steelman. And I'm doing some writing for Breitbart News. Go to Breitbart.com and search Kevin Scholla. I want to thank Sarah Steelman, Tamara Colbert, and everyone here at Mama Grizzly Radio. Thanks to Sarah Hagmeyer, and thank you for listening today. A special thanks to our sponsor, Narrowgate Security Agency. Visit narrowgate.com. The Palin Update is produced by Lena Anderson, the Andy L. Kramer, and Lori Ann Lewis. Please be sure to join us again next time for another edition of the Palin Update on Mama Grizzly Radio. I'm Kevin Scholla. Have a pleasant day.